I'm Cass.
I'm Rachel, and you're listening to the Appliance Girls. But I think I'm really excited to, get women on the podcast.
I mean, we love men too.
If you had a superpower, any superpower,
not this one.
Any superpower, what would it be?
If you don't believe in what you're selling or you don't believe in the business, you're not going to be able to sell it.
I thought you were talking about something else.
Welcome, Monica.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We're so excited to have you on.
It's so good to have you. It's exciting. I think that we're firstly in our new studio recording.
Yes, we are.
And we have our first guest on.
We do.
Which is very exciting.
Our first guest. We kept the first one for the best one.
Yes, we did. So don't be shy, Mon. You need to put the mic a little bit closer so we can,
Hello.
We want everyone to hear you.
Yes.
Beautiful voice.
So what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, Mon is our amazing key account manager from Queensland.
Yes.
She's come down to be on the pod.
Yep.
Mon has worked with us for what, a year now?
Yes.
Yes.
A little under. But
A little under a year.
But
and
I feel like
she's-
it's been like at least 7
Yeah.
years
Yeah.
or so.
Well, background to
Yeah.
Mon. Mon's husband, Johnny, worked for the Appliance Guys in Sydney and they did a big move to Queensland and he's fronted the
The Queensland Division.
Queensland division.
For the Appliance Guys.
The Sunshine Division. So eventually we got Mon to come on board too. So it's been good.
Yeah.
Good
Now she's an
journey.
honorary
It's
appliance
been
girl.
A great change, actually.
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And I think I'm excited to discuss or talk about with you all the different changes that you've had over the last couple of years and, the big change to Queensland because that's a big change, moving your whole life and your family and
is.
your
Yeah.
two boys to a different state and moving away from family.
Teenagers.
Yep.
So that can be big. So I think I'm excited to hear, how exciting that's been, but also the challenges, I suppose, that's been with that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be good.
Yeah. So let's get into it. Obviously, you had a big career in childcare when you started
Almost
much
20
younger.
years.
Yeah.
Can
20
you believe
years.
it? Yeah.
Like
And-
everyone, look at her. She does not look like she's the age that she is. We won't reveal, but 20 years in childcare, no one would believe that.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, what initially drew you to childcare, Mon?
I'd like to say that it was one of those things where I had a passion for kids, but it was totally not that.
Yeah.
I just needed a job, and a friend of mine said, "Hey, do you want to come and join childcare?" And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Get me an interview. So I met this lovely lady that was doing traineeships, and she said, "Look, I've got 2 jobs available in Belfield. Do you want to come and check them out?" And I went, "Yeah, okay."
Wow.
first
Why
one?
not?
The first one was horrible.
Yeah.
I walked in and the lady said, "Hi, how are you?" And I went, "Hi, like I'm just here to, get some experience. Is it okay if I just spend a few hours?" Blah, blah. She's like, "Yeah, of course. There's the sweep if you want to start to sweep the floor." And I went, "Okay." So I got into it.
Yeah.
And half of the day I spent cleaning. And I was thinking, wow, like, you're meant to kind of introduce it in a nice way, but then the second day, totally different experience.
Yeah.
I walked in, the lady was, the director said to me, come and sit with the kids, get to know them, just relax, interact, and I'll come down in a second and we can go from there. And totally different vibe. Like we were dancing with the kids, we were reading to the kids. It was just
So I'm assuming this was
so
before
much
you
more
had your 2
beautiful.
boys.
Yeah.
You started, yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
before you had any kids. And I think that's exciting. Like when someone says, a lot of times you talk to people and they're like, "Oh, I had a passion for this, so that's why I went into that." But that sort of wasn't your journey
No,
into childcare.
nothing,
It sort of
yeah.
was
And
something that
like-
came about of a discussion.
I always say kudos to childcare workers because, we have
It
our
is
own
hard
kids
work. It
and
is
it's okay
hard
with your own
work.
kids, but I'm like, man, they go through every emotion a child
Times
goes
20,
through.
times 20. I'm telling you, it's such a difficult job.
Yeah.
But you do need a lot of patience.
Yeah, I can
You
imagine.
have to have a lot of patience and you got to learn to love.
Yeah.
And a lot
I
of
feel
people
like with
don't
you
have
though, you
that.
have that personality. You're so like gentle and caring and nurturing that I feel like childcare makes sense for
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Look, to be honest with you, it's something that grew, and I'm so glad that I had that
Yeah.
in my heart because it's like when you're a mum, right? You just naturally learn to be responsible for that person.
Yeah.
You know, and you start to care that they, you know, they've eaten, they've been changed, and a bunch of other things that you have to incorporate into that, you know.
Yeah.
And all of that came naturally to me,
Yeah.
and that team. So
Yeah.
And I suppose for you
I
to
had
stay
such
in,
a beautiful experience.
to stay in that career for 20 years,
Yeah.
it's obviously something that where the passion grew for you. And,
Yeah.
you know, I can see that when we talk to you about it, your face lights up and,
Yeah.
you know, you can see that passion that you had in that industry. So that's, you know, it's really good to see, you know, to see that passion
Yeah.
and what that looked like.
The group of girls that I worked with were
Yeah.
honestly amazing.
Yeah.
Were you at the
Yeah.
same childcare that whole 20 years?
For 20
Oh
years.
my
Wow.
gosh. I thought you jumped around a bit to
No,
different
I
ones.
stuck to them because they were just honestly, they were just beautiful women.
Yeah.
And they were just so uplifting, and it wasn't like you carried the responsibilities on your own.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes you'd have hard days, and you know, it was like, okay, Mon, it's okay. How about I jump in right now because I can see that you're stressed. And sometimes there's so much that happens in the day that you need someone that's going to have your back. You
Yeah.
know, I'll take care of this.
Yeah.
You go and take 5 minutes, or you know,
Yeah.
because the job can just get overbearing. You know, there are hard moments with kids, you know, especially when they've got
Oh, yeah.
disabilities
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you're tackling, those behaviors.
Yeah.
It's hard, you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's- yeah.
I guess we're talking
had my
about the
back.
challenges first. So what were the biggest challenges you found in childcare?
I would probably have to say it was the system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, especially because over time I found that there were so many kids that had disabilities
Yeah.
and they had no intervention. Like the system isn't geared for these kids.
Yeah.
You know, and they were on waiting list for 6 months, a year. So imagine having a child that needed help and needed that therapist to come in and that speech pathologist to come in, and they weren't available.
Yeah.
There's not enough for all of the kids,
Yeah.
you know, and they're pricey, and
Oh, yeah.
it's just hard.
Yeah. We know about the price.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, apart from childcare being
Yeah.
over the roof.
Yeah.
Imagine getting that professional to come in,
Yeah.
and it was just it was so
How
hard.
how'd you find it? Like if you had kids that maybe were showing signs that there was something not quite right, or that you thought maybe that's something that the parents should look into.
Yeah.
How do you think you guys handled that? Because I know some childcares, they're not really across it.
We're not allowed to expose what we think it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
We need to refer them to a GP,
Yeah.
Yep.
and then the GP will refer them to that person.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But we
very,
obviously
like,
go,
hush, hush.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's because you don't want to worry them. You
Yeah,
know?
for sure.
And imagine telling a parent, whoa, like your child has so many signs of autism,
Yeah.
and they've got ADHD, and you know, it's stressful. You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't like it coming from a childcare worker. I
Yeah.
think that I would want someone that's professional, someone
Yeah.
that knows exactly what to say to me, so that we can take the right steps.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I guess
but
like
that was hard.
thinking of like Anthony and Ella in childcare, like I feel like I trust the childcare so much though, because they're with kids every day and
Yeah.
they can see the development of them and
Yeah.
everything. And I guess talking from my perspective for my childcare is amazing. Like they will tell you, like they're not going to say to you, oh, he's bad or he's good or anything. Like they give you every kind of step you need to take.
Yeah.
And as a first time mum with your kid in daycare, you're
Yeah.
like, I don't know, like, and especially when they send the what are the goals for this term? I'm like, I don't know what should they be doing by this age and everything. So I think it's hard, but I think childcare workers they do know a lot because
Yeah.
they're with the kids every day.
And I think because we spoke about on previous episodes of the podcast about how childcare, we feel like childcare is part of our village of helping us with our kids and
Yeah.
how important we think childcare is. And, you know, that's what I'm passionate about is having them part of our village as well. And
Yeah,
they're
definitely.
part of our kids growing up, and it's good to see someone so passionate or was passionate in that industry, because then I can see that the kids were really looked after and cared for, and I could really see you building bonds with those kids. And would it be hard when kids moved on into school and you had to say goodbye? Was that really hard?
I'm telling you, December was the hardest month because I would just break down,
because would they become like your own babies?
Exactly that. And some of them, they come to us at 6 weeks old.
I know.
So imagine seeing them grow up. Their parents are working. They're with me from 6:30 in the morning to 6 o'clock at night. And I love them. And then
I know.
And then they go off to school, and it's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky because a lot of the parents do invite me to their what's it called, the orientation day.
Nice.
I get to be there, and on their first day, my director would always say, "Hey, just go to the school."
Oh, that's
I'm gonna
So
go.
I'd be off to St. Michael's, and so
It's funny
could
though.
actually see me, and I'd go have fun.
Because Anthony's now in the upstairs room, which is like the big kids' room, and we went to pick up Ella the other day because she's now downstairs in the baby room, and all of the teachers were like, "Oh my God, I remember Anthony when he was in this room. He was so small, he's so big now." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's crazy. He used to be in this room." So I can't imagine what it'd be like for you guys.
Yeah.
Like
And because I remember when I was teaching, and when my students finished year 12, like I even felt like it was sad to say goodbye, and it's sort of you're sending them off into big wide world. So I can see it's that same feeling. I remember feeling that, and it'd be like, "Oh, goodbye, like good luck." It's you're on to your rest of your life sort of thing, and I can see that side of it as well. So
But I guess that would be one of the rewarding things for you in childcare, right? You got to see them grow and
them for that big step.
Yeah.
And that transition can be so scary. Like they've gone from a classroom of 20 to a school of 300.
Yeah.
So that can be really daunting. And I see a lot of them like really break down on their first day, you know, but then by a few days after, they're fine.
Yeah.
You know, so I think we're more scared as
I think so.
as teachers, as parents, you know, but they're good.
I think that's the hard thing as well, though, that they might only be in childcare like 3 days, because Anthony and Addie are going to do 3 days next year to prepare them for school. So what do you think? Give us some advice. Like they're going to be in 3 days, then they'll go to school. What do you think is the biggest piece of advice for parents transitioning their kids from preschool, I guess they call it, to school?
I would walk them around the school.
Yeah.
Just let them know this is the new place that you're going to be going to. Get them to meet their new teachers. Just have one of those visits. Go and visit the library.
Yeah.
Just walk around.
just make them familiar with where they're going.
Lunch boxes, like the lunchbox thing is a big deal.
Yeah.
A lot of the kids can't peel a banana, for example. So, you know, or even like pop the straw in, like the peppers. So just those little things.
Yeah, they'll be sitting there going, "Okay, open this. Someone open this for me."
And prepare them. Like just go, "Look, I've packed this, this, and this." You know, because I've seen a lot of woggy parents. Like they'll pack olives, for example, right? And then like I can see them eating it, and they're like, "They're not grapes."
Oh
that's
God.
funny.
Anthony tried an olive the other day. He was not impressed. He was really not impressed. But I think with the lunchbox thing as well, you're right. I probably never would have thought of that. And then I can just imagine Anthony at recess eating his whole lunchbox for recess, and then lunch comes around and he'd be like,
I have nothing left.
"Where's my lunch?"
My mum didn't pack me anything.
But it's like the smallest things you don't think about. That's something.
Yeah.
That is a tip.
Yeah.
It's like most mums would be like, "Yeah, whatever, here's your lunch, here's your recess, and take it."
Yeah.
But they don't know what that is themselves.
Nah,
They learn as they
struggle.
go. They'll learn.
I can always see them with the banana.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I mean, I love hearing about that and your passion in childcare. And then obviously, how long ago did you guys move?
2 years
2 years ago. So you guys made the decision 2 years ago
Big
to
decision.
uproot your whole life here in Sydney. Because how long have you lived in Sydney for?
Since forever.
Since forever. So
yeah.
I think, what was that? What drove you to that decision to actually make that move?
Yeah. So obviously with Dion and Michael giving Johnny that opportunity,
Yeah.
we work on 3 things. We always go for, like, we act on excitement. So when something sounds good to us, we're like, yeah, let's do it. And then second, it's fear. We're like, shit,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a big move. How are we going to do it? Are you sure?
Yeah.
And we kind of ask those questions. And then we work on bravery.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nice.
we were like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it sounded good before.
Mm.
Why are we doubting? Like,
Yeah.
we just got to go for it, you know?
Yeah.
I like that.
And-
I love
Excitement,
that.
excitement, fear, bravery.
Yeah, I'm going to use that.
Use
That's
that.
awesome.
That's
I
good.
love it.
Because I remember the conversation because I think Johnny was talking to Michael about maybe moving like to the Central Coast or to Wollongong. And I know
yeah.
those discussions were there. And so we sort of were saying, well, did you want to set up in Wollongong? And then I know the boys had discussed for a while about maybe setting up a division in Queensland. And then I remember the day he mentioned it to Johnny, and Johnny's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I said to Mick, I'm like, does he just mean okay, like he could consider it in like
Yeah.
5-10 years time? Like, and he's like, and then Mick came back, I think the next day, and he's like, no, they're planning on moving like
Yeah.
soon, like
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
next couple of months. I was like, oh, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kudos to
and
you
it's-
because that
it
is
just, because
such
it happened
a big
pretty
move.
quickly.
We were going to, we were trying to find a house actually.
Yeah.
We wanted
Yeah.
to buy, and we could not afford anything in Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, we could afford a shoebox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that was it,
Yeah.
you know. But we were looking maybe Nowra, like past Nowra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we just couldn't find anything.
I think that's what a lot of people are doing though.
Wow,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because Sydney's just so unaffordable.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. But Johnny was actually going to do the drive. He was like, I love the Appliance Guys. I love the team.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like me that way. When you have a really good team, you just want to stick with them.
Yeah,
The
for
same
sure.
way I stuck with mine for 20 years. You know, he was happy to do the same. And I'm like, how would we do it then?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, then maybe on the weekends, then I'd come back and then I'd stay at my mum's house. We were just like working out different things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I went, okay, look, that's probably going to work in the beginning, but
Yeah.
you know, we need
get
your hand
tired,
too.
yeah.
You're going to get tired, and it's like, nah, like I'll still do it,
Yeah.
you know. And he still has that motto. It's like, if I can do it, I will do it. If
Yeah.
I can't, I won't. But
Yeah.
he will definitely give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously you've got 2 boys.
Mm-hmm.
How old are your boys now?
Almost 18.
Oh my
God.
goodness.
Yeah, and almost 16. So
Wow.
Angel's in year
next-
12.
Yeah,
Mine was just
Yeah.
telling
next
me.
month he'll be 16.
I can't
and
believe he's almost
Angel will
18.
I
be-
know.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So how did,
18.
when you brought up to them that you're going to move?
Yeah.
Because
Hated it.
yeah, I can just imagine because that age,
Yeah,
that's
that
an age.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You've got all your friends, you've
Yeah.
got, you're in high school and it's
Exactly.
like,
They're-
that's
yeah.
a big move.
Yeah.
They've got their established life.
Yeah.
Oh, they hated the idea. But we told them, like, when have we ever done anything that would hurt you? Like, everything
Yeah.
that we do is for you.
Yeah.
You know? But just trust us. I think that was all we said. Please just trust us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And in
How
the
long did it
beginning-
take them to come around?
Not long.
Yeah.
I think they started to get excited about the
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
But I think for them, it was the schooling that actually changed their mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that, look, they're really sociable kids.
Yeah.
They would have made friends anyway.
Anywhere, yeah.
Yeah, but like one of the things that Angel said to me, he said, Mom, he goes, I love hospitality.
Yeah.
He goes, but in high school, we were freaking making cupcakes and pancakes.
Yeah.
You know, he goes, at my new school, he goes, we're making curries, we're making 3-course meals. Like,
Yeah.
we're hands on.
Yeah.
You know, he goes, but the other school that I went to, he goes, man, none of that.
Yeah.
You know, so he just, yeah.
Because you're
Yeah.
based, because you've moved near the Gold Coast.
Yes.
So I'm guessing once the boys got there and they realised what the lifestyle was like up there, that sort of won them over as well.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for
Because I see your
sure.
Instagram stories all the time of you guys at
Yeah.
the beach all the time, and I'm like, oh,
In national parks,
know.
waterfalls, hikes.
so jealous.
And yeah.
You got your coffee on the beach in the
Yeah.
morning before you
I
go to
love
work.
that.
I'm like, oh, living the
Yeah.
dream, living the dream.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I have to admit, yeah.
Yeah.
So I drop off the kids early
Yeah.
and then head to the beach because
Yep.
the real estates don't open till 9, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, it's 7:30. What am I going to do? Go to the beach.
Yeah.
Go
That's
get a
good.
coffee. Yeah.
But
So-
when you got to Queensland, do you think it was hard for you guys to adapt? I guess you'd bought a house. You guys found a
Yes,
house.
yes.
And you were moving from here to there and the boys were starting in brand new school. Did they find it hard to adapt or were they pretty good?
They found it okay. I think it was more me
Yeah.
because I had made so many big changes. Like I had left my family behind.
Yeah.
That was really hard.
Yeah.
You'd left your
And I
work
have
of 20 years.
My work of 20
Yeah.
years. I was sad. I remember getting sick for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was just I almost felt like depressed inside.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
happy, but there was something missing. So I actually went back into childcare because that was my comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know, and I tried to find a family, you know, a
Yeah.
childcare family and
Something familiar for you.
something familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was my comfort zone. So,
Yeah.
but that didn't really, I didn't feel that at
Yeah.
the new place. And as much as I searched and wanted that, like I was with
Yeah.
them for about a year, it didn't grow. My heart didn't grow there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that also could be a sign like that you wanted to move on to a different
Yeah.
challenge and
Exactly,
something different.
yeah.
And I mean, we always say like the sea change is so exciting and, you know, better
Yeah.
lifestyle, but then, you know, hearing the challenges that
There's-
you faced and which is completely understandable and leaving those things behind. But then it's
Yeah.
also, you know, looking at the positives ahead as well. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you would
Yeah.
have felt like, I guess, really alone because the boys were at school, Johnny was
Yeah.
working, so you were just kind of by yourself, and it would have
I
been a
was-
hard change.
I was doing a job that my heart really wasn't in
Yeah.
anymore. So when Johnny told me to get into this role,
yeah.
I was thinking, shit, like, but I'm such a shy person.
Yeah.
Like, how am I gonna go and?
But
see
you're
all
not.
I actually can be. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like
Yeah.
I've got two different personalities. So I
Yeah.
can be like this zesty Latina that
Yeah.
you know, or I can just be shy.
Yeah.
But I do remember, like, when we first went up there, you came on the road with Johnny and I, and that was when we first started up there.
Yeah.
And you were kind of considering at that stage, but I could tell you were a bit hesitant because you're a bit nervous.
Because
and
you guys were so confident. You just walked in there going, hey, how are you? You had the whole speech where I couldn't even introduce myself calmly. I was like, hi. Hi.
But see, I can relate because I mean
Yeah.
we've spoken on previous episodes and things how we're very different, and
Yeah.
then obviously I've transitioned over into working for the Appliance Guys. So everything you sort of went through and sort of coming over to the Appliance Guys, I can sort of feel the same thing as well because
Yeah.
you know I know Johnny had been speaking to you about it for a while and being like, you know, it'd be so good to get you on board, and then I know that you sort of were hesitant, and I was exactly the same when Michael was asking me to come on board to the Appliance Guys. So I definitely can, you know,
Yes.
know
Relate.
how exactly relate.
You know the feeling.
Yeah, know the feeling. But yeah, I just think it's been seeing you grow in your position has been a really amazing thing to see you grow in what you're doing, and you're doing an
Yeah.
amazing job up there for
Thank
us.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
yeah, we're
because
really-
after that, when I came on up, I think that's when you started in the childcare. After I came up,
Yes.
The first time, yeah.
the first
So,
time.
yes.
And then after you left childcare up there that you just decided to start with us, or was it while you were working at
it
the
was
childcare?
while I was working.
Okay.
And do you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
the catalyst of you leaving childcare was that you just weren't enjoying it, or do you think you
Yeah.
were more like,
It wasn't,
Yeah.
my heart wasn't there
Yeah.
anymore. It was mainly because it didn't feel like family.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I wanted. I wanted that sense of connection with people. I wanted, just a supportive team. I didn't really find that in
Yeah.
that new place that I had. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And do you feel that at the Appliance Guys?
So much.
Well, that's good.
So
Yay.
good. Yeah.
That's good. It's
It
funny.
was-
Yeah.
I think that one of the biggest things that got me into this was because there's so much support. There was
Yeah.
an encouragement. It
Yeah.
was like, you can do this.
Yeah.
Or we can help. Like,
Yeah.
it was just, I don't think I would have done it without
Yeah.
you girls and without Fred and without Johnny and
Yeah.
everyone else that's come along.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think the biggest thing for me when I was going up there and seeing you is like, I knew you could do it. Like
Yeah.
in my head, I was like, I know Mon can do this, but she doesn't believe she can. And I feel like for us, we were just like, we need to make her believe that she can do this because you're so, sociable when we're together and stuff.
Yeah.
But you're right, you have your two sides. But
Yeah.
I feel like we just wanted you to realize that you got this and you could do it.
Yeah.
So what was your final decision? Was there one catalyst that made you go, all right, I'm doing it, or was it a multiple kind of
It was a multiple. So I think one of the things that I
Johnny
actually-
pushing you?
Johnny pushing me. Yeah, but the thing is that he's always been like my biggest supporter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, right? So he's always gone like, babe, you can.
Yeah.
Just do it. And I
I
was
do
a
believe
bit
that from
nervous about
Johnny.
having this big, personality. Where
Yeah.
he's like, you don't need to have this big personality. All
Yeah.
you have to do is introduce yourself the way you would with anyone else. when
Just
we're
be
out,
you. That's
know,
what you
just
need.
be you.
Yeah.
And I
Authentic.
went, yeah, like, okay. you know, and that was hard because I was like, oh, okay, because this whole time I've been thinking like, I've got to be like Cuss, I got to be like Mitch, I got to be like Fred, and I've got to be like all these, you know, sales representatives. But yeah.
You just got to find what works for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's no set like script that you have to follow when you're in sales. Like, there's so many different types of key account managers, and you just got to find what works for you and how you want to be as well.
And just bring your own personality to it, and that's what people will be drawn to. So, which is the authentic self of mine. So I think
it's all about building relationships in key accounts. And we've built relationships with you. You've built relationships with people that you've worked with in the past. It's exactly the same. So,
and also, I have to say that it was actually the two of you that threw me in the deep end that day. Do you remember?
Oh, the visit up in one of the real.
Oh my goodness, I was panicking. I was just adrenaline.
You did
my whole
fine.
body.
So is that So just for people's, we went into a real estate to do an information session, and Cass and I flew up there, and we went with Mon, and I think you were expecting to sit back and watch us do it, and then we got there and we said, "Okay, Mon, you're
got
up.
this.
You got this," and we pushed you in front, and I think
no, girls, I'm gonna ruin this meeting.
you did great.
you did amazing. But actually, then and then we went up a few months later.
Yeah.
And we went to another information session at a real estate. And then you were just standing in the front of like 30 property managers, confident as anything, talking away, like amazing. So the growth in you over a short period of time has been amazing, and you're killing it up there. And the relationships you're building is really showing with, you know, the support we're getting from our clients, our real estates, and, you know, the reviews and feedback we're getting is amazing. So you're doing a really great job. So
Thank you. Yeah. And
kudos
I think
to you.
You have to just throw people in the deep end sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's the only way
Learn as
that
you
we're
go.
going to learn.
Yeah.
Like, it's true.
And I guess going from childcare to key account managing, it's like two totally different industries. Do you think there was any skills that you took from childcare to transfer over to key accounts?
I'd probably have to say just the care element.
Yeah.
But I heard you mention before the village.
Yeah.
So we have that in childcare. We have wait, hang on a second. I'm forgetting that line.
Mind blank.
It takes a village to raise a child.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's the same in this career as well, where I don't think I could do it by myself. You know, you need to have that right teacher. So whether it's you or Johnny and everyone else that, you know, in the team that's helped you move up.
For sure.
You know, but you need to have that care element.
Yeah.
So whenever I talk to someone and something, you know, I need to chase something up, for example, you know, it's a priority. You just, like you would with a parent. It's like, yep, I'll get onto that. Let me just deal with it. I'll find a solution.
Yeah.
That's
and
good.
I think, like you said, the care element, like you care about your kids in childcare, obviously, you have to. But in this job, you got to care about your customers and care about the clients that you have, because if you don't care about them, you're not going to care about following up their jobs or, you know, creating relationships with them or, you know, building rapport or anything like that. So I think that's one big thing that you've probably brought over.
Yeah.
And then I think as well, we've spoken about now, obviously previous podcasts about us working with our husbands.
Yes.
Now, obviously, Johnny is leading our Queensland division up there.
Yeah.
And now you're working basically for Johnny. Yes. What has it been like working for
your husband?
For your husband.
with.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry, with.
It's been good, actually.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I said to him, hey, listen, if I call you, you have to treat me like everyone else.
Yeah.
You have to talk sweetly. You know, you can't say to me, hey, listen, I'll call you back. It's not important. You know? Or, you know, how the husband does with the wife sometimes, right?
They just end up, what do you want? What is it?
2
seconds, go.
Quick. Exactly. Like, no, I need to take at least a minute or two.
Yeah.
You know? But I wanted him to kind of just take his time with me. But it's been good. And I can see now the challenges that he goes through, and I can show that support as well, where he's like, oh, I need to do something on Saturday. I'm like, yep, go. Yep, I'll help. Or
so it's opened your eyes to more of what he's been doing on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, I understand. Fully get that.
It's exposed me to all of that hard work that he puts in.
Yeah.
And it's good that I'm able to help,
you
know, and he lets me. He's like, yep, let's go to Meriton, or let's go do this. And I can see the ins and outs of it all.
I think it's great how they've kind of structured it as well. Like they didn't just say, Johnny, you go up there as one of our employees and you work up there for us. they've made it like it's Johnny's baby and Johnny's business up there.
Yeah.
And I think that was so important with the two of you, because both of you, obviously, it's your life, it's your business up there.
Yeah.
You want to treat it and you want it to work as much as the boys down here want it to
Exactly.
work. So I think that's really helped you guys push and really want to succeed in Queensland.
Big drive.
Yeah.
Such a big drive. Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise it'd just be like, oh yeah, I just work for them. Like, and Johnny's a very caring person. He would work hard no matter what.
Yes.
But I think this just gave him that extra incentive that this is my baby. I want to make this a big thing.
Yeah.
And I think that
Definitely
shows.
Yeah.
And his passion, when you speak to your husband, Johnny, about the Appliance Guys or his passion is so strong. Like he'll just meet a random person and he could just will go above and beyond talking about it, and he'll win someone over and be hiring them on the spot. That doesn't works in something completely different just because he's won them over in his passion for the business. So I love that. And I think you guys as a team is even better. I think the passion you two share, I think for each other, but is in for the business is amazing. So
do
that's
you
been
think
really
that
good.
helps you when you're on the road? Because I know in my podcast the other day I spoke about if you don't believe in the business, you're not going to be able to sell it as well as you normally can. And I guess because now it's Johnny's baby, his youngest baby, and it's yours too. So does that help you on the road when you're talking to clients and everything, you know, kind of get them on board because you obviously are passionate about it?
100%.
Yeah.
That's such a good question. When I'm out there and I'm speaking to someone, I just treat them like a friend, really. Like I've gone to see PMs, and at the end we're actually just hugging.
Yeah.
Like, there's a moment there, and we're just chatting like friends. But it's just giving them that call back, and you know, how are you? Just simple conversations.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing though with key account managers. You don't want to be just like, I'm here to get a sale. I'm here to just win you over. Like you want to build that rapport and that relationship, and I think that's what you're doing up there.
Yeah.
But have you noticed a change in yourself from like when you first started to your kind of pitch and how you go about things now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I was just like this little turtle. I was still in my shell. But it's funny you say that, because there was this one time that I went in there, and I think that my greeting was like of a childcare. It's like, hi, like, you know. And he's like, Mon, you're not in childcare. You know,
Your teacher voice.
I had to just like change it up. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
I'm more professional now.
I'm more professional now. Yeah. But I still I still look at a lot of podcasts of confident women and men, just to see what they've done to kind of get out of feeling like that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like that and sometimes I don't. It just depends on who's in front of me.
Yeah.
And it's also because I'm so receptive to other people's personalities as well. Like sometimes they're really cold and I can't break that ice. Like they're just tough, you know, tough women, and you've got to go like, oh, I don't know how to get you to smile or something.
Yeah.
So then I kind of just go serious because they're serious. And, you know,
You're just mirroring them.
and that's the problem. I hate mirroring. I just want them to kind of be happy. I'm like, you know, you're a property manager. You should kind of have that smile on your face when I walk in, and you know, but some people are cold, and getting them to just cheer up a little bit is hard
and open up.
And I suppose you'll learn that as you go, and we've spoken before about how you're really good at that, and that's something that I'm still learning about, is trying to interact and understanding, you know, how to talk and communicate because I'm quite a shy person. So I think we're similar in that aspect, and then I've learned a lot from Cass in that way. But then it's also understanding that, you know, they've had a shit day and as well, and we're just another thing coming in, you know, annoying them.
Yeah,
but
you don't know what's going on.
It can be hard judging
Yeah.
someone's mood, and then that affects your mood as well. And
That's right.
so I can fully understand that. So
do you think those podcasts are what kind of helped you get out of that rut that you were in when you first moved to Queensland?
It does, yeah, definitely. Just to listen to other people, you know, telling you, look, just be authentic.
Yeah.
You know, I actually spoke to a mentor.
Yeah.
And he said to me, you know what? He goes, I see a lot of PMs. He goes, I'm having meetings with them every single day. He goes, the amount of negativity that they experience,
Yeah.
you know, like be understanding,
Yeah.
you know, because I did express that. I'm like, sometimes this is what I get.
Yeah.
But they're also having to deal with the owners and you know, the people above them. So it's just, okay, like I have to understand that. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think also this is why we always said you'd be really good at this job, is your personality, and
Yeah.
you're very caring,
Yeah.
And I-
Empathetic.
empathetic. And I think that for someone selling something to me, I would want a salesperson with that personality.
yeah.
You know, I don't want the hard sell and the just take this. Like, I like what you bring. It's like that gentle attitude. And I think people will really respond to that,
Yeah.
which we've seen they're responding to it. So,
Yeah.
you know, I think, you know, take positives from it. You're doing
Yeah.
a great
Thank
job.
you.
So,
Yeah.
Kill
Well,
it.
I actually had someone the other day. The other day. I walked in there and I had dropped off some flyers, and you know, and she go, "Oh, where are you from?" And I said, "Hi, how are you? I'm from the Appliance Guys." La, da, da. And she goes, "Oh no, like I gave your company a flick." And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
said, "Oh, like you know what's happened?" And
Yeah.
she goes, "Oh, someone came out and you know it took them 5 times to fix a dishwasher, and you know, and after that she goes, nah, never want to use your company." And I said, "I'm so sorry." I said,
Yep.
"Can you tell me about that day, like
Yep.
who went out?" And she goes, "How am I supposed to know? It was like over 2 years ago." And then I went, "Oh, okay." I said, "I'm so sorry that's actually happened to
Yeah.
you. What we would normally do after the first day, if we can't fix it, we would quote for a replacement." And the Appliance Guys have only been operating in Queensland for under 2 years.
Yeah.
So I actually don't know if that was us. You know?
It happens a lot.
Yeah. And then half an hour later, "Hi, Monica, how are you? I saw your flyers on the table and we'd like to have you guys go." And I went, "Thank you so much."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
of course, you know, "Do you have the right email?" And yeah, she's like, "Is it, you know, the Appliance Guys? Work orders at the applianceguys.com.au." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the one. Thank you so much." You know?
But I think even that just showing
plug
that
there.
you
Good plug there, Mom.
Yeah,
know,
we're good at the
right?
podcast. I think that there though, just showing that you cared was like the biggest thing, because
Yeah.
any other person might have just been like, "Okay, don't worry about it. Thanks so much. See you later."
And walk
Yeah.
out.
And they wouldn't have
Yeah.
even bothered to investigate a little bit further. But to show that you actually wanted to look into it and wanted to care about it and
That's it.
actually
I got in my
speak to her.
car and I'm like, "Johnny, can you please check? Have we ever done work for these people?
Yeah.
I need to know. Like, was it something on our end? Do
Yeah.
I need to know?" It's like, "No, we've like," and he's checking on the other line. It's like, "No, we haven't." I'm like, "Okay, good. Okay."
yeah.
But the thing is, like, mistakes happen, and you know,
100%.
we're all human, and
do.
mistakes happen all the time. So I think the biggest thing as a business, we've taken on is that, you know, we're happy to work with anyone with any
Yeah.
mistakes that have happened, and
Exactly,
we're
yeah.
and we like the feedback. And I think that we spend a lot of times working with real estates and going in and saying, "Hey, we want you to give us your feedback." Not your positive feedback. We want your negative feedback,
That's
because
it.
that's the only way as a business we're going to learn.
How are
Yeah.
we gonna
If we get that
improve?
negative feedback.
Yeah.
But then on the other side as well, having that caring, going, "Okay, how can I work with you?" And then that's really good as well. And that's a salesperson that I want.
Yeah, and I think like with us, we're the first person to put our hand up and say we made a mistake
Yeah.
or we stuffed this up or we've damaged something or whatever it could be. Because like you said, not everyone is 100% perfect.
Exactly.
And we're
right.
not just going to sweep something under the rug and go, "Oh, let's hope that they didn't notice." Like we're the first to put our hands up and we want to work with you to make it work.
Yeah.
So I think that's super important to get that across to our clients. And I
That's
think
it,
that's what
yeah,
just
yeah.
caring and having that time to
Yeah.
give them.
Exactly. Give them a solution. Yeah. Give them the heads up.
Yeah.
This is what's gone wrong and how are we going to fix it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess this is what our podcast is about, really, is back when we were talking about, you know, strong women and
Yeah.
working women. And there's so many out there that are like successful, like they're doing great things.
are.
And I think that's what we want to do in this, is showcase this. And
Yeah.
you've had such a wild career and a big sea change. And I think that's what we're trying to kind of send across to people, that you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's
I
not always
love-
easy, but you can do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to think about with the boys and with work and everything. Do you guys feel like, I know that Johnny sometimes goes to work at night and on the weekends and everything. Do you still feel like you have that work-life balance and that time with the boys to be able to, you know, have family time as well?
Yeah.
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 That's number one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make the time to go on a walk. Just even those little things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have dinner together.
Yeah.
that's a must.
Because I
Yeah.
suppose the boys are older now, so it's like
Yeah.
they want their own
They
space
can-
and their own
They
time.
do,
But
yeah.
I do love, when I
It
see
helps,
you post
yeah.
things with the boys
Yeah,
down at the beach
love
with the
that.
dogs, and seeing that connection is really good. And
Yeah.
like you said, it can just be something simple, like just an afternoon walk. Just sort of go, how was your day
Exactly.
Yeah.
with your kids is great.
Yeah.
So
It helps that they're a little older, I have to admit.
yeah,
Yeah, I
They
can imagine.
Exactly. They don't need us to be
To
you know,
change their
playing
diapers.
them.
Yeah.
Playing with them. And yeah.
And I guess we're doing all these events up in Queensland as well, and you're running them there. Do you think you see the difference that the events are making when you go to the clients and take a gelato cart or take them lunch or
They
take them
love
morning
it.
tea?
They appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember a PM that said to me, like, "Oh, you're actually coming in to drop flyers off.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
why don't you just send
Email.
emails?" And,
Yeah.
and I said, "No, like, I like to meet whoever I'm doing business with."
Yeah.
He's like, "I love that." Yeah, because I don't actually see that. I
Yeah.
don't see much of that.
And I think Johnny
Oh,
goes
that's
to them
so
sometimes as well
good.
with you as well.
He used to.
Yeah.
He used to.
No, he's too busy.
But he's too busy. now. Yeah.
No,
Just me,
because
myself, and I.
you can handle it though, so it's all
Yeah.
good. No, because we're seeing the events, how much of an impact they're having down here. And I
Yeah.
think, that's what you kind of wanted to do up there as well.
Yeah.
And even though they might be small now, what do you want to do for the future? Like where do you want to see Queensland take off in the future? What are your goals for it, or what do you want to do?
Ooh.
Big
What do
question.
we wanna
Big question.
do? That is a huge question. I wanted to grow. I don't know. What do I want for Queensland?
because I know the boys have like this rivalry. Like that, Johnny
they?
wants to make. Yeah, Johnny always talks about he wants to make Queensland.
I
He's
just hope
bigger
he's
than
not
Sydney.
number 2. Like,
Yeah. Johnny's always number
Ongoing
2.
joke,
Don't tell him
yeah.
we're saying that on the podcast.
Oh,
but
God.
I know he has a rivalry.
Second in go-karting, second in golf, second in everything.
No, I know he has a rivalry with the boys that
Yeah,
he wants
yeah.
to grow that to eventually get as big as
to
Sydney. So
number
that's
1.
yeah. I think he wants
well,
that. But
that's the goal.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you're supporting him in that
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So, but I think for you, it's the connections you're building with your property managers.
Yeah.
You just want to keep on doing that.
Exactly. Have a successful team.
Yeah.
That's important. You know, we want to have more vans out there.
Yeah.
We want to get the right people. And it's
I
not
think
just
Johnny's
about-
built a great team already,
Oh,
though.
Yes, yeah.
You
I
guys have
to
a really
say
good team
they
already
all have
up
each
there.
other's backs.
Yeah.
I hat off to them because they're so good. They're
Yeah.
such
And it was good. We went
great
up there a
guys.
few months ago and did a team night with the Queensland team. And
Yeah.
went to what's it called? Top
Top
Golf.
golf. Top
Yeah.
golf. Yeah.
And it was great
That
to
was
see
fun.
all the
Yeah.
all the guys
How
up
much
there.
fun are
And
they?
Mon was
They're
there in her heels trying to golf.
that was good. But it's just seeing Johnny's connection, but then also your connection with our technicians and boys
Yeah.
as well. Is like is that family.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I think I think maybe it was Jerome. This is a shout out to Jerome because I just want to say
He's our social media manager in Queensland.
yeah, well, he's actually a
He
technician, but
loves
he's
it,
posting videos all the time.
yeah.
So thank you, Jerome. We absolutely love it. But then I think there was this video where you'd like left a chocolate on the work desk or something, and then he was,
he went to steal my
he steals your chocolate, and I don't know, it's just those little things that it's that connection across the
Yeah.
business.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
too often, it can be that you work in sales and
Yeah.
you're the owner, and then you're the tech, but it's you guys have actually come
Yeah.
together and
Yeah.
working together, which is really good to
Super
see.
important.
And we love seeing all these videos
Yeah.
that keep popping up from Queensland because we're not
We
there,
get
so we miss
FOMO.
out.
Yeah.
We're like, well, I want to go to Queensland.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just tell Mick and Diane, sorry guys, we're moving up there.
I think something came up the other day. What was it? I can't remember now, but any excuse. I was like, all right, we better get up to Brisbane then and visit the team.
Sunny,
Too often we're like, I think we need to visit Mon.
Yeah.
I think Mon wants us to be at
Yes,
another event so we can go up there.
Mom wants some support.
Yes.
We'll just
Yeah.
go up there and help her out for a week. Fred's taken our thunder though to go up there, but
I know.
we'll come back. Don't worry. Mum.
Yeah.
Oh,
with
that's
your
what it
coffee
was. It was a
carts, with
home
the coffee
show.
carts,
Yes,
Yes.
we'll do a card up
Oh,
there.
done. We'll lock it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need more money for the marketing budget, FYI.
Yeah.
Boys.
If you're listening.
Work your charm.
And we've spoken about in previous episodes. We were just talking about this before, actually.
Have you had any? Sorry,
Yeah, I have.
are you sure?
Yeah.
It
She'll
looks
scull it
quite
at the end.
full.
I'm going to start cocktails at 10 a.m. today, guys.
As we do, we have a gin and tonic and we
Yeah.
have espresso martini. So we're in the new studio, but we haven't gone away from having our cocktails in the morning. So
yeah,
we're still
cocktails at 10 a.m.
and
are a
drinks.
must.
We're still having it.
But talking about, your sons, they're now old, so old, not old, but they're in high school.
Yeah.
Like, whereas our kids are
Adults,
like
yeah.
younger, and we were talking about how Ari wants to come work for the business when she's older, and Charlie's not interested at all. Actually, Charlie's a bit like Angel. Charlie wants to do like football and stuff.
own
Angel
thing,
wants to do
yeah.
football. I know Rico wants to
Rico
come
loves
work
it.
for the business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
He
guys
is
like
set.
trying to push them to anything, or they're just kind of do what you want, or
Yeah,
how are you transitioning them from high school to work life?
Yeah, we're actually getting him to do a TAFE tester.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So every Thursday now he tries a little bit of like refrigeration or plumbing or
Oh,
that's so
the electrical
good.
side.
Yeah.
But he's so keen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He loves it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I think he's just so set on it. Like,
Yeah.
and sometimes, when we get angry at him, we're like, right, you're not going to come work. And I can see him, like, his face, like,
Yeah.
he goes into the room.
Yeah.
But nah, he definitely wants to.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
I think it's hard though, like having your kids, if anything, work for you, because you like you want them to succeed, but it's like if they start slacking off, you're like,
You'd be extra hard on them.
Yeah,
what do I do? Was it Johnny that told me he fired someone? Or-
No.
I think it was his brother.
Yeah, no, something. There was like someone told me that they
Yeah,
fired their son or
Yes,
something.
It was one of
Who
the
was
gentlemen.
it?
There was an event that we went to in the Gold Coast. And
Yeah,
there was a
the
gentleman.
leading edge conference.
and I asked
I think
him-
it was the guy from Hyacinth. I'm pretty sure, and he was saying how his son came to work for a little bit for him, or worked for his company, or something like that. Oh no, it was the guy from Hunter Valley. He has an appliance business up there, and his son came to work for
that's
him.
right. Yeah, I'm trying
And he was just not doing it right. He was, slacking off and everything, and he fired him.
Yeah, because he kept turning up late.
Yes.
So then he fired him, and he goes, "I wouldn't take him back."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the pressures as well. Like,
Yeah.
do you think that's something Johnny would do to Rico if he's
100%.
he's
Yeah.
slacking
He's-
off and he's coming
yeah.
to work late? Yeah.
I'd love to say that he'd show a little bit of empathy, but
Yeah.
no, he's a tough guy that way.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, nah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
He doesn't want to cross family, and it's like, if you work for us, you
Yeah.
gotta just be on it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Which
most
I feel
important
sorry for
thing,
him
though.
too.
Yeah. Rico, good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I think that's important, because otherwise, like, they just think they can get away with anything, really. And it's like, oh,
Exactly.
I work for my dad. I can just come in at 12 and
Eh,
hang
yeah.
out and do nothing,
Yeah,
So I think
exactly
it's
right.
important to teach them those lessons early
on,
I guess.
yeah.
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 And Angel has no interest. If any NRL teams are out there, Angel would love to be on your team.
Oh gosh, he would love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his dream.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to divert the dream. Like, I would love him to do swimming or golf,
Yeah.
something a little bit more safe. Yeah.
No.
It's
That's
hard
funny.
as a parent though. Like, and your son comes and they want to do some like dangerous sport, and you're like,
Yeah, have you seen
like
the
NRL is not the
injuries?
most dangerous sport, but it's still like, head concussion central.
Exactly. I feel like running onto the field every time, like he
Yeah.
falls or
Yeah.
someone tackles him. I'm already like,
But even like with their career choices, like our kids are younger.
Yeah.
So, but it's different because your boys are older getting to that point. But even like Charlie came to the other day, he's 11 and he's like, oh, I don't know what I want to do with my life. And I'm like, Charlie, you're 11. You don't need to know now what your career is going to be. He's
Yeah.
like, but I've just been stressing about what I'm going to do. And I'm like, wow, like I need to just let him be and leave him
Yeah.
alone because he's stressing about his career at the age of 11. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
it's fun having kids and their different
Oh,
quirks.
don't even. I honestly think Anthony's going to be a police officer. But I guarantee you he's set in his mind now. Like, he goes around the house, like, he's so loud, his siren, it's like squeaks in your ears like there's no tomorrow. So I think he's down for a police officer for sure. But Ari will join the business.
Yeah, she will. She will. She'll
But
be running
like you were
everything.
saying before, how you started childcare, sweeping the place and cleaning, that's where Rico's going to start.
Yeah,
Sweeping the
exactly.
factory.
From the bottom.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
It's the only way you're going to grow.
That's how you climb the ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he needs to start weekends. Start
he-
sweeping. Yeah.
Oh, he does.
Well, he does go to
He does,
to
yeah,
some
yeah.
places
Yeah.
with Johnny to help, like, with
Exactly,
the
yeah.
rubbish and stuff.
Exactly. It's the little things, yeah. But
Yeah.
he enjoys it. Like, for him, it's work, and it's
Yeah.
getting him active, and
It's good.
What do you think, I guess, looking back at your career and the sea change and let's say the past 25 years,
Mm.
what do you think has been some of the biggest highlights that you've had in childcare or in key accounts working for us.
So from birth, because Mon looks 25.
Yeah.
Just pointing that out there.
Of course she does. She is 25. That's why I'm saying the past 25 years. She was 1 when she started in daycare.
Yeah.
Thank you. There's so many. There's so many. I think it's just the group of women that I've met along the way.
Yeah.
For me, that was probably the best thing that ever happened.
Yeah.
I've always had really supportive family and friends around me.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the ladies that I used to work with were inspiring, and it's not so much that they were always on that push. I think that we just developed this family sense kind of feel, like if you know, one was celebrating, I was celebrating with you. If something bad happened to you, I'd feel that too.
Yeah.
You know, but even when, you know, I told them about the change and everything, they were like, you can do it.
Yeah.
It's such a good move. Like you do need to have different roles in your life, and you can't always stay in the same thing. And
Yeah.
And I
you
think,
need to
like you said, having that support system, like Rach, you spoke about it in the last episode about, you know, just having someone at your work or at school, just to say, hey, are you okay? Hey, take that 5 minutes. Hey, you can do this, you know, just to give you that encouragement and just give you that time to just kind of reset. I think that's so important in work life, in school life, in personal life even. Like, you know, it's just
very much.
Because I think, you know, support is so important, and not everyone has a supportive home life or a supportive family. So I think finding other people that can give you that support is so important as well. And like I said, when I was saying about teaching, students see their teachers more of the time than their family, but then it's the same with work. You see your work colleagues more than you do your own family most of the time. So I think, you know, finding that support network within that is really important. And obviously you found that when you're in that business or that childcare. So I think that's obviously what kept you there for 20 years and you know, saw that worked.
And I guess as a key account manager as well, you're on the road every day. So it can get quite lonely because you need to be quite independent. So I guess for you just got to build that kind of, like you said, that village, and you're seeing customers that you're making friends with and everything like that. And it's important to go and see the team as well. So do you think you're kind of, balancing that, being out on the road and then also spending time with the team and Johnny and in the office? Yeah.
The good thing about my role is that I get to be on the road, but then sometimes I get to be in the office, and sometimes I'm on the phone. It's just we're trying different tactics all the time, you know. But just getting those different elements out.
Because I know, like you were saying before, in my previous job when I was in sales, it could be very like they're the salespeople, they don't come into the offices at all, and these are the accounts team. It's like very separate, and it can be really like neglecting.
Dividing.
And you don't feel like you're part of a team. So I know that when I came over to the Appliance Guys, I made it really clear to Mick and Dayan that it's super important that the sales team are still part of the team. They're not just out on the road by themselves. They should come in the office and, you know, spend time with us and learn everyone's role here as well, because then that makes you do your job better on the road. Because then you 100%. Understand, you know, the bookings team have got this and the accounts team have do this, and it just helps you know, sell the service to your clients more, and it makes you feel part of the team, whereas you're not.
And I think divided. That's what our sales team come in on a Friday for, because we have our Friday family lunch, and they are always in on a Friday. So that gives us a chance to get to know them a bit more, but then, you know, see how their week was going. And I think we've done that as well to make sure that they're part of the team. Otherwise, they're just not in the office. So that's been really good. But obviously you're starting the sales team up there. You're the first one. So it's sort of, you're sort of paving a way of what you want it to look like, which I think is exciting as well. And I think, you know, I like that you've found your own routine of going to the beach in the morning. And I think that's your little way of, you know, getting into the role, which I really like. And I think that's, you know, super important that that's your me time. And I love that. You know, like having that coffee at the beach, and it's like, you know, that's really good. So I'm going to take that on board if I live near the beach, but I don't.
100%.
You definitely need it.
Yeah. And like you said, Mon, you're paving the way for the next key account manager to come on board and, you know, take the road, and you can teach them and, you know, share your skills from what you learned from Fred and what you learned from us, and then you'll be able to transfer that on to the next person. And that's the biggest thing in our business. We want to grow, and you guys are growing Queensland.
And I'm sure that next person's going to teach me something else. Like, it's
we're forever learning anyway. So
exactly right. We're always the apprentice. So,
I like that. Always the
I
apprentice.
love it. What have we taken out of today? I've taken the biggest thing I've taken out of today is your three things: excitement, fear, bravery.
I really like that.
I love that.
Did you
because-
get that from something, or is that?
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
That's just
I'm going to
my
write that up on a
motto.
sign.
Because I feel like, you're right. You go through that excitement first, and then you get into that fear of, oh, what if this happens? What if we do it? Should we do this? Should we move here? Should we do that?
they're
And I feel
important
like
questions.
no one gets to the third step of the bravery because you just start to dwell on
Yeah.
that fear of what will happen if we do this,
That's right.
especially when you have kids. Like, you're not just thinking about you and your partner. You're moving your
Everyone else around
kids.
you,
Like,
yes.
you have to make the decision for
Yeah.
them. And I think for me, I don't think I ever get to that bravery part. I'm always thinking about the what if, I can't do this, I can't do that, especially with something like that.
Yeah.
So I think that bravery,
Yeah.
the third step
Has
is
to
so
kick in.
important.
You have to
Because for
just
you,
dive in.
you not only moved to a different state,
Yeah.
but you were starting a business, and there's no guarantee that that business is going to work.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
right.
You're
Yeah.
starting a
Yeah.
business, transitioning careers, moving your whole family, teenage boys, house, everything.
Moving away
up
from
to
your support
Queensland.
system.
Your
like,
family is
it.
all here. So it's such a big major change
Yeah.
in your life.
Yeah.
I know Diane would always say to me, "Oh, would you move to Queensland? Would you move to Queensland?" This is before you guys moved, and I was like, "No, I can't. My family's here. I can't go anywhere. My
Yeah.
my
You
friend,
can
my
do
family
it."
and friends are here. I can't move anywhere from a 30-minute radius."
that is true.
Of Rachel.
yeah. But I think if once you start to talk about it and look at the pros and cons, you just got to weigh it all out. And I guess maybe I'd get to the bravery stage, but now you've taken it, so it's all good.
No, you can move up there if you like.
But
No,
if you
but-
think about it, a lot of our parents have made those brave moves.
100%.
moving,
Country,
to another country
yeah.
without
Yeah.
even knowing the language.
With
We're
2 cents in their
10-hour
suitcase.
drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So if you look at that, if they
Yeah.
can do it, we can do it.
When
And
was,
I think as well, even just us going down to Melbourne when we were starting in Melbourne, I went down there with Dayan and Anthony when he was just 9 months old to start there. And we were going to be there for, I think, 3-4 weeks. And the anxiety I got before we were going, who's going to look after Anthony? Your parents aren't there. My parents aren't there. There's no daycare there. Who's going to look after him? And Dan's like, I'll look after him. And I'm like, I don't think this is going to work. I really, really freaked out about it. And it took me a while to get over that anxiety to go
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah.
But then when I did afterwards, I was like, oh, that was fine. You just got to, you got to take that step
yeah.
to just do it, and then it'll all
Things
work
will
out.
work out.
One
Exactly
small
right.
step for woman.
But no, it's a big change. I moved around a lot when I was a kid, and I never thought of it as a kid. I thought it was the worst thing in the world moving around. But then
Yeah.
now, as an adult with my own family, I think it must have been such a big thing for my parents. And we moved
Yeah.
3 or 4 times from Melbourne, Sydney to Cairns, back to Sydney.
Yeah.
And then, now I think about it, I'm I really need
Wow.
to speak to my parents and be like, oh, thank you, as in for the effort that you would have put in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
would have
And
been
even
strain on
thinking
them.
about Dayan's background, his family packed up Bosnia and moved to Australia, the other side of the world.
yeah.
They didn't know how to speak English. They didn't have anything. And it's just that was probably the best decision they've ever made. Because
Yeah.
you look back at it and you're like, if they
us.
didn't do that, where would
be?
we
Where would we
be?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have
Yeah.
met Dayan. The Appliance Guys maybe wouldn't have existed because he wouldn't have met Mick.
Yeah.
Everything is so planned meticulously to build your life. And I
Yeah.
feel like destiny, everything happens for a reason.
does,
But you look back at these things and you're like, man, if that didn't happen, where would we be?
Yeah.
I wonder what our life would look like.
That's right.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Hat off to our families.
I know.
Yeah.
Kudos
Jesus,
to all of
yeah,
you.
Yeah. But no, it's been a really great chat with you, Mon, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Loved all the different things that we've
Yeah.
learnt, and I'm going to take that motto. I'm going to make it into
We're going to make that into
picture.
social media captions, LinkedIn.
I think we need to put it up
posts. We're
here on
gonna
our,
put
on
it
our
up.
wall.
Yeah.
I love that. So
Thank you.
No, but you've really given us some key points about daycare, transitioning our kids to school, key counts,
Lunch boxes.
believing in yourself and just taking that step. And I think that's been the biggest takeaway from today. And it's funny because you were super nervous to come on, but you did very well.
I think it was the drink.
I know.
All my anxiety.
That's why we
away.
have the cocktails in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, we always end the episode with a question.
Yeah. But we didn't
And
think
we
of one
haven't
today.
even thought of one today. What am I going to think of? Or Mon, you can think of one if you want.
We always have a silly question.
Silly question. We've done what would your last meal be? We've done what would your superpower be?
Don't mention the superpower one because I still get made fun of for my superpower.
We'll never let that down.
No.
Where would you live?
Yeah.
Where would you go on a holiday?
Ooh.
Mm.
They're good. No, someone else come up with the question.
Okay, I've got one.
Okay. I'm always scared with your question. I don't know why.
No, mine's
wrong
kind of
way.
like, you know, I don't even know the answer for me, but
That's not fair.
maybe you give me some time to answer it anyway. Okay, so if you could choose any car in the world to have, like your dream car,
Cars.
color and brand and what it would be.
Okay.
Rach, I know what you want.
I know what I want, but I don't know this. I know what I want.
Yeah, you don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
Just what the brand is.
It's an Aston Martin.
I was
And
gonna
it's
ask
this.
that.
It's green. So at the Formula One, because Mick and I
green,
love,
like a metallic green or like a fluoro green.
no, not
like a
fluoro
deep
green. Like it's like a deep green. So it's like. Anyway, so it's at the Formula One at the Australian Grand Prix.
Okay.
It's like one of the medical cars that goes in afterwards. And every time I see it, I'm like, I want that car.
Yeah, okay.
So that's my dream
nice.
car.
We're going to be Googling that afterwards.
So I'll have to change from my Kia Carnival. Sorry, kids, you're not going in my Aston Martin.
yeah. Once the kids are in high
was
school
gonna
and they can
choose
drive themselves. That's all right. You can have the same car, Mon. Different
Yeah.
color maybe or the green?
Yeah, definitely. It's different color.
Yep.
I'd probably go with like a hot purple, like
Ooh.
deepest purple.
Oh, yeah.
with
God,
nice.
you guys are
Bit of
going really
shine.
bright with your cars.
Yeah.
I actually don't know mine, but
Do you
look,
want,
when I was
do you want a Kia
younger-
Carnival? I can give you one.
No, I'll pass on the Kia Carnival. When I was younger, I always wanted something that was a convertible. You know, that was like, the Barbie car and everything like that. So maybe some sort of convertible, something I can take the roof off. Actually, I always wanted a Jeep that you could take the back off and, ride to the beach, get out.
Oh, nice.
So maybe a Jeep, but I'm not going so bright as you guys. Maybe like in just like a black or a white, something really boring.
It's all right. I like black cars, so
Or
that's
bright
okay.
pink. Bright pink. And we'll
we
have
put
the
the
appliance girls on it.
We'll have the branding.
We can claim it as tax because it's a business car.
And we can drive up to Gold Coast,
Queensland.
pick up mine, and we'll go to the beach every morning.
Love
That's
it.
it.
That is
Alright,
the
we're
plan
planned.
from now
I'm
on.
down for that.
Sorry, kids, you're not invited, or Mick and Dion, or
we
Johnny.
have to wait another
it.
15 years till the kids are in high school. And your kids will be like
I know. they'll
old.
drive
They
Old.
might be married by then.
Oh.
Don't tell me that. That's
I know, that's really scary. All right. Well, thanks, Mon.
Thank you.
It's
Let's
been a
cheers.
pleasure. Cheers.
Cheers.
I have to get around my mic.
Cheers.
Salud.
Cheers. All right.
Thank you for having me.
No,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
coming, guys.
Awesome.
And we don't need to thank anyone this week, but thanks the Appliance Guys for letting us have our podcast studio in their boardroom.
So thanks to the Tag Podcast Studio.
Thank you to the Tag Podcast Studio for having us. It's been a pleasure.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Amazing.
Bye.
Bye.